to You Guys Say More, episode 11, Terrence. Double ones.
Yes, sir.
We are fifth of the way to our double nickel game. I'm excited
Joe,
for that.
I like your little hello. That was really like sexy just there. I don't know why.
Was it?
I don't know why he was trying to be so sexy just now.
I'm not. I just sometimes stumble into it, and it could be bad if I do that at the wrong time.
Hit you with the late night hello.
This is Need I Say More After Dark, Terrence. Pandemic day 385. So I've forgotten a few of those, but there you go. That's the update, ladies and
It's still happening, man. Let's not act like this is not still happening. It's still happening. It's still.
We're about to enter a fourth wave because this is people are so stupid. It's like, okay, so things are getting better. Let's all rush outside. Oh, everything got worse. Okay, let's be better. Okay, wait, everything's getting better. Let's rush outside. Oh, it's getting worse again. This is the fourth time we've done this, so I don't.
It's like playing double dutch.
People are just dumb. I never actually understood double dutch. Like no one ever taught me how to like jump.
How to just like jump in it.
Yeah, like it seemed too confusing to me, and yeah, that's my life.
Yeah, I mean, you get tangled up in it or whatever. I tried it a couple times when I was younger.
And so you couldn't do it.
I think I was able to get a couple of steps in, if I can remember correctly. It was never like, I don't know. The girls were always so good at it.
Yeah, I feel like they knew it was their thing.
They were like, I know it's a timing thing. It's always a timing thing. I know that much. I was always able to go a couple of seconds before it was like, all right.
It's probably something simple, like you jump when their hands are up or something like that, like something weird like that. But no one ever taught us, Terrence.
Just got to go.
Just got to do it. Yeah. Beautiful day, New York City. Well, it's not beautiful at all, actually. It was beautiful. Now it's raining, so there's that to deal with.
Yeah, man.
I was thinking about, Terrence, have you ever been messing around with a girl, like you're in bed, and she accidentally like hits you in the nuts?
Oh, that happens every night.
What do you mean every night?
That happens every night. So Corey sleeps like a maniac, okay? So what happens is I only am allowed a certain part of the bed.
You're allowed, are you?
I'm only allowed a certain part of the bed
in this relationship.
Why? Is because she has this thing where she has to keep her knee out. So she sleeps on her stomach, but she has to keep her knee out. It's just like if you try to sleep on your side, right? Imagine trying to sleep on your side and then just trying to scoot in, just to get close to her a little bit. And her knee lines up exactly with my dick. So if I scoot in too quickly, she's gonna knee me right in my dick. It's you would think by this time I know not to do it, but it happens almost every night. Sweetie.
So there's a few things I want to say about this. One, how Corey, is she not like small? Is she not like 5'1" or something?
She's very small, but
you think she wouldn't like need,
she's 7 feet.
Yeah, women are like that, right? Like they seem like they're small, but they take up 4/5 of the bed. And you're like, well, yeah, what the hell's going on?
Oh, let's not even start on the blanket thing.
I haven't had a girlfriend who had any blanket issues in a while. I had that a few years ago, but it's been a few years.
But you were always cold though.
Well, I'm kind of always warm, so it wasn't as big of a deal, but yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
I don't understand that shit. Why they need to fucking wrap up themselves up like a cocoon?
I'm always cold, and then here's the thing, right? We wake up and she's mad at me for pulling the cover, and I'm like, you had the entire blanket all night.
I have none on this side. What are you talking about?
I got goosebumps. I'm shivering. You don't see me sniffling? It's not because I have allergies.
But I
just got a cold overnight.
Don't you just why don't you snuggle with her to get some of that heat? Like that's one way to
get some of the body heat.
Yeah.
No, because then it becomes get off me.
You sound like you're in a really loving relationship.
Yeah. And then it becomes get off me. Like, it's just give me my space. Let me sleep.
So it's crazy. I don't know if I've mentioned this. Something's wrong with the way I sleep. And like basically what I mean by that is I don't. So when people sleep, they usually move like once every 20, 30 minutes. Like you naturally just adjust yourself when you're sleeping.
That's a thing?
Everyone does. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever I don't know if you ever if Corey falls asleep first, like if you just look every 20, 30 minutes, she'll like adjust herself slightly, even if she's sleeping. Here's the thing, Terrence, I don't do that, which is a problem because I'm always sore when I wake up because I'll just sit in one spot for like 4 hours. It's not good. And as a result,
you're supposed to move around.
Yes. Like the way Corey sleeps, like on her stomach with her leg up. I used to do that. Can't do it anymore because if I do that, my whole fucking leg and like almost like a groin injury. Like I will wake up in immense pain because my leg will be like that for like 4 hours.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, I can only sleep with my sides now. I can no longer sleep with my stomach. That's the thing. If I sleep with my stomach in general, my neck starts. I'll wake up with like a severe like neck, almost like a neck injury for like days, where I can barely turn my neck.
Well, we got a new bed from Nectar. Nectar sponsor us.
Nectar. I've never even heard of Nectar.
You know, no, look it up. Look Casper. It up. No, it's Nectar. We got a new bed or whatever. Nectar is really good. It came with 2 big like plush pillows that are like, cool, so you don't like overheat in your sleep and stuff like that.
It's so important, dude.
You have no idea. It has like the gel pad inside.
My mattress has that gel
pad. Really, really, really comfortable bed. Really comfortable bed. Shout out to Nectar for making a comfortable bed.
Yeah, I mean, Nectar, reach out. I mean, what's the need I say more pod at gmail.com. We can talk sponsorship. It's funny, man. I've had these pillows for like 5 years now, and I'm like, I think I need new pillows. Like they're good, but I feel like I'm not getting the support I need.
Guys, what do you think it takes for men to be like, oh, I need to change this? When it comes to like stuff in the
pain or something like not that, working, right?
Like it has to be like on its last,
like literally
leg
the last the last year. I'm like, what, these pillows, like I've had them for like 4 or 5 years. I should probably get new ones. And I'm seeing her talking about it again to you now.
You still haven't gotten new ones.
Yeah, because it's just like, I don't know, like part of it's because it's been a pandemic and I don't have a job, so it's like I'm not trying to spend money. But it's also just like, I don't know, like it's mostly fine. Here's the thing, pillows are something worth investing in, like putting actual money into, because you use those every day. Yeah, like if you're gonna put money into things, pillows are important.
People say that. When I went to like the store and we were like bed shopping, the freaking guy and what's the other one you mentioned? Is it Casper?
Casper's a pretty popular one.
The guy in the Casper store or whatever, he was just like pitching us on pillows. He was just trying to sell us.
But think about it, you literally use them every day, or presumably every day, right? Maybe you're sleeping over Corey's house. I don't know how it works, but you can use them most days, and it's sleep. Sleep is super important. So you're gonna, like, if you have shit pillows and you're getting a shit night's sleep, that's super bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a good pillow. I'm comfortable. I'm not too. I don't even like pillows, if I'm being honest.
You just sleep on the mattress, just flat?
I like sleeping on a mattress flat.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. That's insane. I'm a weird sleeper. Like I'll fall asleep in any position at all. Like I fall asleep. I'm knocked out. I'll fall asleep standing up, sitting up. Doesn't matter. I'm a super weird sleeper. But when it comes to like pillows, I hate for something to be too soft.
But that's the thing. So when I bought these pillows, these are $50 each, so it's been $100 on my pair of pillows. I did a ton of research. Like there's reviews for everything these days. I found like multiple video reviews, people going over like, do you want a super firm, super soft, somewhere in the middle? I'm telling you, man, do the research, find yourself a good pillow. Good. What I mean, Tim, if you've never been like messing around, not just like sleeping like you're about to have sex, you're maybe halfway through, something's happening, and you get hit in the nuts accidentally.
Wait, did I get hit in the nuts accidentally while having
sex? Like, let's say you're whatever, you're going down on her, she's going, something happens, but she somehow turns, something happens, you get hit in the nuts, like right in the middle.
There are casualties of war all the time, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's only happened to me once.
That's never happened to me though.
But once.
There are casualties that happen during
But you pull her hair accidentally, like you lean on it and then she's like, oh, shit, you're on my hair. And
it's not an accident, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying like when it is an accident, yes, pulling your hair is one thing, but if you go to like lean, never mind. Anyway, one time I remember I was with this girl and I don't remember the specifics. I think like she just moved her leg and like while we were like adjusting from one position to the other, and she hit me in the dick. And it was like, oh, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But I went and I was like, no, it's good. And like when you get in the nuts, there's like the 5-second window to where like it doesn't hurt yet.
Yeah.
And then it does. That happened. And I was like, and it wasn't a terrible one, but I was like, we're going to have to take a bit of a break here. The 15-20 minute break before we can finish this because I'm out of commission right now.
Yep.
It happens, man.
What we got on the list for today?
I want to talk about, I'm not sure how I'm going to phrase all this. Okay. So it's kind of, I guess it's like two different things I want to talk about kind of at the same time. so obviously we live in a world of extremes, right? Something happens, everyone goes to the complete one side or the other side, and
0 to 100.
Yes, and it's always that, right? Like J.K. Rowling is a good example. People, the Harry Potter books are like, I think, the best-selling books of all time, next to like the Bible. Immensely popular books, movies are popular. J.K. Rowling, super cool on Twitter. People loved her. She's even so cool. Like, she was a billionaire, but she donated literally like hundreds of millions of dollars all over to like feed kids and do all these great things. So she's no longer a billionaire. I mean, she's still obviously very wealthy.
She's donated so much money. She's no longer a billionaire.
Yeah. She's obviously really still very wealthy. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, she's literally the only really dude. For years, she was like a critical darling. You know how many people like read Harry Potter.
Wait, Joe, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is important. I have to do my Black Excellence shout out.
Oh, we totally forgot that.
This is
I knew we were forgetting something. I apologize. Let's rewind.
Right. Yeah. Forgive us. We had a really, really big episode.
We did, which you'll hear about.
Yeah. So
talk about that later.
Just kind of catching the floor. But really quick.
Thank you for pointing that out. I completely forgot.
Really quick. With this being the last day in March and the last day for Women's History Month, my Black Excellence of the Week shout out goes out to the lovely Issa Rae.
Issa Rae, that sounds familiar.
Issa Rae, you may have heard of her, creator of the hit show Insecure.
And the reason I do know
the reason why it became like she kind of came across my screen is because she just signed and this is the headline: Issa Rae inks an 8-figure film and television deal with Warner Media.
There you go. That's a big deal.
Congratulations to Issa Rae.
There it is.
Now, you know more about that side of it than I do, but I would assume this means that she got paid a lot of money to be exclusively with Warner and to pitch them ideas and shows first.
Not even first. They just what is the 5-year overall deal with Warner Media? So basically, what it means is for the next 5 years, anything she wants to put out
goes through
her. Yeah. Apparently, she's also on a voice on Google Assistant. So there you go. Yeah, basically, if you use Google Assistant and you want to hear her dulcet tones, I guess you can just make it sound like Issa Rae. So there you go.
That's dope. I know on the subway system now they put like a bunch of different celebrity voices for like wear a mask kind of thing for the MTA. Yeah. So I think they had like Robert De Niro, New York celebrities and stuff like that. There's Little Kim on there. I think good. So it's actually pretty dope.
But her 5-year deal, basically just anything she wants to put out, like Warner's will do it. So it's a pretty big deal, man. Warner Media is pretty big, so good for her.
That's a dope thing. Congratulations, Issa Rae.
Yeah, Issa Rae's cool, man. I like her. I haven't seen a bunch of her stuff, but I know they're good, like The Photograph and Lovebirds and a few of those other things. So, and Insecure, obviously.
From what I know, I think she started out as like just doing like YouTube shorts.
She did, yeah. That was it Awkward Black Girl or whatever it was?
Yeah. She started out doing YouTube shorts and then blew up from the YouTube.
If you can get it done, right?
It's just about consistency, right?
Yeah.
Right. Keep putting out content, be consistent with it, and
And if it's good, people will eventually see it and it gets noticed, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Issa Rae. That's a good shout out. I actually do really like her a lot. But yeah, what were we talking about before we forgot that shout out? Oh yeah, I didn't. Right. So the topic. J.K. Rowling, right? She's awesome. She comes out with those kind of views about trans people, and again, these aren't like horrible views. They're just misguided views, if you ask me. Like, she didn't say she hates trans people at all. She loves them. She just basically said she doesn't, the whole bathroom issue, because she's a rape survivor, she thinks it's not good to let anyone in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Get it.
It's trauma.
Right. And I disagree with her, but people need to read into things, right? You can't just hear, J.K. Rowling said something negative about trans. I hate her. She's demon. Burn her alive. That's what people do. I've seen literal comments about we should hang her and kill her, and she shouldn't get all this. It's like, guys, like there's different. Like, not everyone does one thing that goes against what you think is like a demon. You know, like there's different levels of these things. Like
the ability to not agree with someone and have a conversation with them is super important.
Yeah, I feel like no one has
it's an important, and I would even say it's a skill nowadays, because you need to be able to have the ability, like, and sometimes we even go through that, but it's like, I may not agree with what you're saying, but I can still communicate with you and even try to understand what you're saying to a certain point as well. You know, that's a skill that a lot of people just either don't care to have, or really they just don't give a fuck.
I think it's that. Yeah, they just don't care.
They don't give a fuck about
That's
it.
the thing. It's like Harvey Weinstein. If you want to say you hate him and he's awful, that's fine, right? Because what he did was heinous. He raped and whatever. I don't even know. Yeah. He raped and
we believe women
bullied, and not even that, but it's like dozens of women. And he's in jail now. He got, in a court of law, he got convicted of these things. So that is fine. If you want to demonize him, like literally, that's fine. He's done those things, deserve it. Someone like J.K. Rowling, it's like her entire life has been very good and positive. She has these views, again, not hating trans people, but just has these one view. She's not the same as Harvey Weinstein. Like there's different levels, And again, if you don't want to support her, it's fine. So my point is kind of with that, but also I've been noticing this distressing thing where people are looking at the past, whether it's 20 years or 200 years ago, and they're judging people like historical figures based on like our current standards. And I think that's not completely fair in a sense, right? Like what I mean, huh?
Of course not. Of course not.
But people do that, right? And again, there's different levels of it. So like, you know who Thomas Jefferson is, obviously, right?
Thomas Jefferson? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. Of course. Oh, yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, right? Third president. Listen, Thomas Jefferson in a lot of ways was kind of like one of the coolest motherfuckers ever, right? He was like in his 30s when the revolution was going on. He was obviously a founding father. He wrote the Declaration of Independence, which is considered like one of the most important historical documents of all time, not just in America, but ever. I know other people helped him write, obviously, but he wrote it like with his own hand, like actually wrote it. But yeah, Thomas Jefferson, this like a swivel chair, how like your chair can swivel back and forth?
Yeah. Thomas Jefferson invented the swivel chair.
Yeah, like in the 70s. Like, isn't that insane? Like chairs were just chairs. He invented actually the ability to swivel in a chair. Like he was an inventor. He built Monticello, which is on the back of the nickel. Monticello is there. It's a picture of his house he built. He's the president for 2 terms. He did a phenomenal thing as president. Louisiana Purchase. Overall, is really a phenomenal human being. But Terrence, he had slaves, like over 600 slaves, a lot of slaves. And
which, does that make you a phenomenal human being?
Well, no, that's terrible. That's heinous. And that's the thing. The founding fathers, there's proof, there's like evidence of all of them basically saying like they hated slavery, but they still had slaves. So, but, and there's also, it's never been officially proven, but like most historians believe that there was a specific woman who he had as a slave, and no one's really sure on the specifics, but in some capacity, they believe he had like 6 children with her, like this black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know if it was rape. I mean, there's no real specific, like it doesn't seem like it was, but no one even is officially sure if it happened, but it seems to have happened. But they were still slaves, the kids. So that's terrible, right? All that stuff's terrible, no matter how you slice it, slavery and all that's terrible. But my point with him, and not that we're talking about specifically Thomas Jefferson, but Thomas Jefferson's like
the butt behind slaves is crazy, but go ahead.
What is?
I said the butt behind slavery is crazy,
Yeah. Well, it's not a butt. I'm just saying like.
No, I know where you're going with
what I'm saying is you can look at Thomas Jefferson and you can still look at all the great things he did and also look at the bad things he did and go, okay, that's what happened. As opposed to people, I think so many people will shut their ears and their eyes and go, no, he's awful. And it's like, well, you can look at both things and acknowledge, like, again, this is like 250 years ago, but you can acknowledge like, well, he did a bunch of great things and he did bad things. And again,
but there are certain lines that you have to have as well. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, I think you have to have a line.
But with someone like him, I would just argue like everyone had slaves back then. I'm not saying
make it right.
No, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right at all.
It was something that was common.
So this is the reason I'm bringing this up, Terrence, right? Now, again, slavery is obviously awful, no matter how you look at it. But let's say in 100 years from now, people are looking at me and you, and they're like, well, they were great dudes. They did X, Y, and Z. They had this podcast that was famous all over the world. But man, they destroyed our planet. They were one of the people who helped destroy this planet. We almost lost Earth because of them, because all the fucking plastic they were using. He was driving a car, on gas, on fossil fuels, all the plastic, and he's not a vegan, so all he was doing was eating meat, which also contributing, and they just destroyed our planet. Because by then they've solved all that. Now, is that fair, Terrence, to you to be judged like that?
I think that's a perception thing.
But it's true. That's what you're doing, is it not? I mean, you're using plastic. You have a car. You eat meat, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you're contributing to the destruction of this planet. Everyone who does that stuff is, right? It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So is that fair? If in 100 years they've, they're all electric, they've gotten rid of fossil fuels, that's presumably, right? Is it fair to go, well, you were doing all that? Everyone's doing that, Terrence. So is that fair to you?
It's fair to me as far as singling me out.
Well, no, but just anyone of our generation who's doing these things. Is it fair to go, well, look at them, they're destroying our planet?
I can't say it's fair. No.
Right. And so that's
I can't say.
So that's kind of my point. And it's not just with Thomas Jefferson, it's with anybody of any different time period, because things change. Even if you go back 20 years, Terrence, look at Adam Sandler's films or any films back then. Gay people and trans people were always the butt of the jokes, man. Like, are you kidding me? Everyone used to do that. Everything's gay, and you're gay for this, and transvestite.
Faggot was a big word.
Faggot was,
that
dude,
they used
a
lot.
Constantly, man. And it's like
early 2000s.
That was only 20. That was only 20 years ago we were doing that. Not 15 years ago we were doing that. And so it's like, you know what, man? Like, it doesn't make it right that they were doing it, but it's not the same as looking at our standards and then looking at them and going, well, they're horrible for doing it. It's like, well, they're a product of the time. And so again, I'm not forgiving any of these things, but I'm saying you need to be able to do both. Look at it and go, like, look at Adam Sandler. Is Adam Sandler a hateful person, or was he just a comedian making movies at the time that he was making them in? I think you have to look at everything there, especially with like historical figures. Like, you have to look at it and go, they could live at a specific time. It's not that what they did was right or wrong, or it is wrong.
I think it's actually touchy, because then that says that you accept the things that somebody might have done wrong in the past, albeit the past. You're saying, in a way, you say, you know what, I have to accept whatever happened in the past as the past, but not hold them to my standards, like you said, standards as what I have now. In a way, it comes out like that, and don't get me wrong, I'm kind of on the fence as far as like, look, I don't want anybody to look at my past and judge me strictly based upon my past. Look at my past, look at my potential. I'm not even saying about your past,
saying it about the time you live in. Like, if people in 100 years have solved all these issues, but they look at us as being these awful human beings because you're driving a car, it's like, well, what else are you gonna do, Terrence? You need a car, right? You're using plastic as plastics everywhere.
I mean, the time that we live in, it changes from almost decade to decade, probably even faster now.
But what I'm saying is, like, again, and I just think, like, you can't look at your own standards now in our current life with everything we know and look at someone from the past and judge them the same as you would judge someone now. If someone now you found out, was constantly dropping, faggot and all these, that's terrible because you're living now. But if someone did it 20 years ago, is it wrong they did it then? Yes. But I can't sit there. I don't want to sit there and judge them horribly and say, like, Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller and these guys are awful. Like, that's not really the same, though, is it? That's not really fair to them, because that's not what they were doing. They weren't trying to be hateful. It was just a product of the time. We were doing it too.
All right, but you brought up the Harvey Weinstein thing, right?
Yeah.
Even if you bring up the Harvey Weinstein thing, you got to bring along Bill Cosby as well. Now,
yeah, and I think what they did was never okay. What they did was never okay.
And then hold on, then you go with the whole Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump situation, people. Right? Now, with all of that, in a sense, you can say all of those wealthy men were doing that. That was
they were all wrong.
They were all wrong
with them.
But again, it says like all of those wealthy men were doing that. That was something that was normal within their group.
Well, but I don't know that those guys all knew each other and were doing it together. And even if they did,
I would assume so. I would assume so, just because of the level that they all.
Listen, maybe they were, but those to me, that is like, see, that is, I would say the same, not the same, but I understand, like, with slavery, like, these are unforgivable things. They were never right, no matter which way you look at it. But with slavery, like, everyone was doing slavery. So I'm not forgiving that in any capacity. What I'm saying is, like, it's just not the same. I understand they had slaves, but everyone had slaves. They were going to be these unique people.
Yeah, but the way you say it makes it sound like it's like a okay, like it's like a
okay.
Hey,
it's not okay.
Yeah, but see, you have to keep preferencing that, like, hey, it's not okay that everyone was doing this, but let's not take away their accomplishments as well.
But I think
it's kind of like you can't have both of those.
You can. That's the problem, because what people do, what you're basically saying is to erase the past and don't look at any of it because they did something wrong, and that's
I don't want to erase the past, but
that's what people want to do.
I don't think we can.
I can't say Thomas Jefferson didn't contribute to the entire planet in so many ways, because he did.
He did, right? But I don't think we can acknowledge it as much as we should. And the reason being is because the human side of it says that what you did was wrong, not the contributions that you made or anything like that, but the actual things that you've done as a human being was wrong.
Right. So now by using that? But listen, while using that standard, everyone who existed before 2015 is wrong for everything.
Yes.
So that's the way you want to live your life. You want to assume everyone who's ever existed is awful.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I want to live my life like that. But if we're saying everyone's wrong, yes, everyone is wrong. The people that invented cigarettes are wrong, right? You guys contributed to a lot of people dying with cancer and everything like that.
But did they know that at the time? I don't think when cigarettes were first invented, I don't think they knew.
They didn't know it at the time. Actually, no, there came a point in time that they did know and was completely complicit and still going along.
Well, they still are. Yeah, they still go along with it.
Right, and they're still doing it and don't care. Right,
that's a person's choice, right, to smoke them. Now with all the information out there, people still smoke it. Why is that? I mean, everyone knows, especially if you live in I don't know about every country. I know in America,
you're wrong for also inventing. That's like I'm gonna invent. I'm gonna invent this candy that is actual poison, knowingly.
No. Hold on a second. People, when cigarettes were invented, they did not know what they did at all. In fact, doctors thought they were actually good for your lungs.
Right, because then the Surgeon General had to come along and actually say, "Hey, no, this can,
listen." What happened was time went on and new information got brought up. Now, I don't think the people who invented them are wrong. They didn't know. They just did something, and it's like anything.
No, I believe that the government is wrong for continuing to allow it to take place, knowing that it's killing people.
You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know that you're wrong. You probably are right. The only reason it exists is because it makes money. And if that's why the government allows it, right? They make money off of it, and that's wrong. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you at all. What I'm saying is, I think you need to look at everything someone's done. J.K. Rowling is a good example. She's done a ton of amazing things. If you disagree with her trans views, that's fine. I disagree with those trans views, but I'm not going to say she's a demon and she should be burned alive.
But I think that's opinion. We're only when you bring up J.K. When you bring up J.K. right? That's her views and that's her opinions, right?
Yes.
Right. So we're saying, we can't crucify someone for their opinions.
You're saying their actions can be.
Their actions can be crucified for. Yes. Okay. If you're a murderer, we should crucify you for being a murderer.
Right.
Right? Like you bring up OJ a lot. You bring up OJ as far as not a lot, but your viewpoint on it.
Because he's an awful person, and people
because he killed people.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing. He did more than just that famous.
But he was somebody that killed people, but wasn't crucified.
No, and but here's the thing about OJ, and the reason I bring him up. Obviously, everyone knows about the trial, the glove, the two people he killed. We all know that. After that case, and he got off, there was 2 decades of him doing awful things like kidnapping, extortion, fraud, all this crazy shit he did. And people
still wasn't crucified.
No, he was never crucified. Then he went to jail finally after getting caught multiple times on multiple things. And when he gets out, now he's like fucking Mr. Rogers. Everyone loves this guy. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
saying. I don't agree with it, but now that if we're getting to the root of this right now, in my opinion, I feel like viewpoints and people's lack of knowledge or understanding for something should not be crucified. You should not judge someone for their lack of understanding of something or whatever it may be, right? Okay. But the actions of someone, yes, you should actually be judged and crucified for those things. R. Kelly, who's an amazing singer-songwriter, for all the things that he's done to minor girls, yeah, he should be crucified and take away those Grammys, take away whatever the hell you guys gave him. Yes, because he's a horrible person.
But you just said he's a brilliant singer-songwriter.
He's a brilliant singer and songwriter.
So why can't I say Thomas Jefferson is an amazing person who did amazing things?
You're allowed that. I don't have to agree with it, but you're allowed to have that statement. You're allowed to have that.
So listen, my point of this, again, this is my Thomas Jefferson. My point of this whole thing, and I think we're both on the same page in a lot of ways. I think it's being able to recognize important people for what they've done while also recognizing the bad they've done, as opposed to this person something bad, erase
that. Goes back to the whole separation of what the person has contributed and who they actually are as a person.
In a sense, but I mean, do you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, can I do what?
Can you do that? Can you separate the contribution someone's made and all of the guilty wrong shit that they have done as well? You're able to look at this person and say, you know what? I'm not going to look at that. I'm gonna turn a blind eye to that side of it.
Well, listen, turn a blind eye. I don't know that's that phrasing. Like here's an example. I'm rereading the Harry Potter books right now. I know J.K. Rowling's view on trans people. I disagree with it, but to me,
view though, like the view is an opinion.
But I'm so you're saying so what about Kevin Spacey? Kevin Spacey raped, as far as we know, several people. So should I watch it? I shouldn't watch his movies? You're saying, like, what's my opinion on that?
That's what I'm at. Yeah, that's what I'm asking
Terrence, you. To be honest with you,
can you still watch House of Cards right now and just be like, man, this is such a good show? I mean, even though like the person I'm looking at is a demon, this is a good show.
I think that's a different topic, but it's an interesting question, right? Like, that's a topic we've never really done on the show. We've talked about.
How is that? Joe is literally you brought up J.K. Rowling,
but
it's of her viewpoints and opinions.
We're talking about the question you're asking me is, can you enjoy someone's art if you disagree with their opinions or their actions? Whereas what I'm saying is, what we need to do is not erase people in history because they've done bad things. You need to acknowledge both. This is back with Stoicism, like I talk about. Like, you need to be in the middle and see both. There's nothing wrong with saying you think this person's awful and you don't want to support them, whatever. But you need to be able to acknowledge, just like you said with R. Kelly, he is a brilliant singer-songwriter. These songs are great, but he's still an awful human being. There's nothing wrong with saying both.
But we can't erase them. There's no way we're going to erase them.
But that's what people, my point is, people try to do that. People try to just, it's kind of like cancel culture in general. People want to like, no, that person was awful. Let's never talk about them again. And it's like,
I'm on the fence about that because sometimes I agree with it. Sometimes I don't. Like when they were taking down all of the Confederate statues, it was like, thing. Take that shit down.
Yeah.
Take it down. These are horrible people.
That's not erasing things. That's removing monuments that symbolize something. Right. It's not erasing history. It's erasing that is history. Why the fuck is it up?
It's not glorifying them anymore. It's like, like we can't take away the things that you've done. So would you say like we should change the $20 bill? We should change, like the all of the things that you're saying, like, with the presidents and due to the fact that slavery was kind of normal, we can basically say, look, we can't take away what you guys have done, but what we will do is not hang your pictures in the White House. We're going to take all of those down.
I think no, no. If you want to change them from the money, I don't really know. Whatever. I mean, I guess I understand why they want to do that, like replace them with, but again, that's the problem. There's like no one who really, the only people, like there's so few people you can even put because no one's perfect by our own standards. Like the only people always say like Harriet Tubman, but
the talks were Harriet Tubman, right?
We know almost nothing about her is why. We know almost nothing about Harriet Tubman is why we can put her on there. If we knew more about her life, I'm sure she did something that wasn't good because everyone does something that's not good. Yeah,
nobody's perfect.
But we live in a society that demands it. Anytime someone does one thing wrong, it's dead, erased, cancel. That's what it is. Look at Myers Leonard. We're talking about on the backcourt. Myers Leonard, as far as I know, this is the only thing he's ever done like that's controversial, that's wrong.
As far as we know, that as publicly came out.
Right. But that's all we can go by, right? But with that said, it's like, well, he just got waived and he might never play in the NBA again for all we know. Does he deserve that? No, but you have to be perfect. You make one mistake.
Yeah, but you also you also have to suffer the consequences for your mistakes.
And I agree, but the consequences are not, again, cancel. It should be like, well, like what happened with him? He got fined, and if you'd have lost, like if you'd gotten traded, whatever it is. But it was, we talked about this on the backcourt. Was Julian Edelman? Julian Edelman said, "Hey, listen, come, we'll have a talk, we'll have a dinner, and I'll show you why that's a problem." That you said
this is the domino effect. This is the domino effect of something he done wrong, right? He is no longer in charge or in control of what the consequences will be. That's like me stabbing you and you shooting me. And I'm like, why'd you shoot me? I can't control what your reaction.
But it's one comment, one word he said once.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So you think cancel culture is good? Then you agree that he should be canceled.
I'm always 50-50 on cancel culture.
That's
I'm not for how I think.
Well, Terrence, it's not. I hope you never make a mistake in your life, because then your life will be over.
I'm gonna fuck up.
But then your life's gonna be over. So how could you?
I'm gonna fuck up. But
so if they cancel here's the thing:
my life is not going to be over, because here's the thing.
It would, though, according to what you just said.
But I don't need the opinions of others to justify what I do.
If you can't get a job, then what do you do?
We haven't gotten to the point in society where it's like they're not going to hire you because you tweeted something stupid.
Dude, there was this guy. There's a dude. He was like a high-ranking whatever in some company. I don't know what it was, whatever. Right? He was like a high, like making probably 6 figures. He definitely was. And when Chick-fil-A, that whole controversy, like whatever, a decade ago with Chick-fil-A and how they don't believe in gay marriage and everything, he filmed himself going to the drive-thru and just getting mad at the lady. Like, how could you possibly work here? Blah, blah, blah. Bro, he still can't get a job. That was 10 years ago. Every company will not hire him because he's connected with that one video he made of himself. And he wasn't even that bad, too. He was just like, how could you possibly work here? You're awful. It wasn't even like
that was egregious. His opinion. That was his opinion.
But that is preventing him from ever getting it. It's been 10 years. This dude was literally like a high-ranking person. He can't get a job anywhere, Terrence, because of that video. And most people don't even know that sucks.
Video. First of all, your dumbass shouldn't have filmed it.
No, it couldn't. But what I'm saying, what if that happens to you? What if you do one thing, Terrence, that gets caught on camera, and then they're like done, and you can't get a job? Then what do you do? Is that fair that you can never work
again
because
fair.
Of one thing?
No, Joe. We can both agree and say that's
you just said you were 50-50 on cancel
culture. I'm 50-50 on cancel culture because I think there are some people that deserve to be canceled. Do I think that it's really always something? I think they're fucking little idiots that are just digging and scrubbing Facebook, Twitter, and everything, and just looking for things that people did wrong. I think they're little, whatever. I don't even have a word for these people, but I think you're just literally out there, just sitting there listening, watching, and just be like, oh, remember you did this. Kevin Hart, perfect example, right? He said some gay jokes back in the days about whether if his son turned out gay or whatever the joke was, right? He's a goddamn fucking comedian. He's a comedian. Why are we even taking what he's saying in a stand-up joke as something
that's what people do
that means so much? Oh my God, he's so homophobic or whatever the case may be.
Can I ask you a question then really quick? So with cancel culture, let me clarify what I mean when I say, so do you say certain people who do certain things deserve to be canceled?
Certain people who do certain things deserve to be canceled.
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein deserves to be canceled.
Okay, so let me. Okay, so I think that there was a miscommunication there. I agree with that. There are people who deserve to not work again. Like Harvey Weinstein is a great example. Like, good, go fuck yourself. Like, you're in prison. Good, you're probably gonna die there, and honestly, you kind of fucking deserve that, right? Like, I don't give a shit.
And that's what I mean by actions. I think there are actions. Right. So okay, and I know we're kind of like going all over really quick, but
that's an important topic. Actions, I think deserves time.
Actions deserve a worse consequence than viewpoints and opinions, right? Now, what Myles Leonard did,
you think that's more of an action because it's not his viewpoint, it's him, it's what he did.
Right, exactly. Okay. That was an action. So actions deserve that cancellation.
What if a clip came out, instead of what happened, the clip was him saying, I hate Jews. Not an action. His viewpoint is that he hates Jews.
That's a viewpoint. That's a viewpoint.
So you would say that's less. That's not as bad
less.
As...
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. See, I don't know. Is it though?
Because that's a viewpoint. That's a viewpoint opinion. We have to stop. We have to stop judging people and crucifying people for their opinion.
But that kind of opinion, though, wouldn't you say that is way worse? Because if you make a mistake, and you say the wrong. Because
Joe, if let me down the street just said he doesn't like black people, I know his viewpoint. But I just know his viewpoint. He doesn't have to like black people.
Let me explain. If Myers Leonard says he hates Jews, you don't know what that means for how he treats those people. Whereas if he made a mistake and said a word where, for whatever reason, he said that word, it may have just been a mistake, and he might not have any ill will towards anyone Jewish. That would shape everything, man. Depends on who he donates money to, or what he donates his time to, or how he treats people. As like, if it's just if you make one word that you think is, you think at the time is fine, but it's a word, and you're like, oh, I should have said that. I didn't really mean that. Like that's way different than I hate this group of people. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, he didn't. Me, exactly. But the way he used it, right? And in people, you can look up. You can look up the clip. Whenever you get a chance to, right?
Yeah.
The way that he used it was clearly to insult.
Yes.
It was used to insult, to harm. So that is why you can classify that in the action category, because you use this word
I understand that.
to harm. You meant it to mean harm. That's it. So that's why I say I'm 50-50 on cancel culture. Like,
I'm not. So what I would say with
people for opinions, and
when I say I disagree with cancel culture, I mean the idea of someone did this one thing or said this one thing, or it's one action. It's like they should be canceled, and it's like I don't agree with that. I think like I said, there are actions I think that are unforgivable that you should get. Okay, well, why like Kevin Spacey? Does Kevin Spacey deserve to work again? It's like, well, no. I mean, the dude literally raped like an underage kid and probably much worse. So right. Yeah, I agree. Like, he should be canceled, but I think cancel culture, I guess what I was saying was like, you do one tiny thing, dead. Everyone hates you now. I disagree with that. Like, there's not like people deserve forgiveness if you say one thing out of turn or whatever it is.
People deserve forgiveness. They deserve, and more so, people deserve to be educated.
Yes,
we can't just assume everyone should know. That's right. Common statement, yes. Common sense is not common. All right. And your thoughts and your way of looking out on life or whatever, like, you were raised completely differently than I was raised. If I do something that is offensive to you, but in my culture it's considered normal, you have to let me know. Like, yo, that right there.
I could not possibly agree with you more. I think that is what is needed. Like, if someone does something offensive, right, just bring them aside and tell them, because maybe they did to be funny, maybe they had no clue what they were saying, or anything in between. If you just bring them aside and tell them, there's a strong likelihood they'll be like, oh shit, I won't do that again. Because like I said, whether or not they did it on purpose or not, like if I dropped the N-word to you trying to be funny, but you were like, it's not really, and you brought me aside like, it's not really funny, man, like, it's really kind of offensive, then I'd be like, oh, I'll never do that again. Right. Because I was trying to be, or whatever the reason, right. So I agree 100%, but I just want to reiterate my point with what I was saying. I fall very much, we talk about this, like stoicism, which is falling right in the middle, and whatever it is, looking at the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, it's always kind of being in the middle of it. That's kind of how I feel with all this stuff. I can firmly look at people like Thomas Jefferson and go, the guy contributed a ton. The guy did a lot of amazing things. He was really a Renaissance man, not way after the Renaissance, like 100 years, but he did a lot of amazing things. But I can also look at him and go, the slavery thing what's the right word? Irrehensible? Is that the right word? Anyway, terrible.
Apprehensible?
Reprehensible? Is that it? See, we're not very smart. We shouldn't try to use big words. Unforgivable is what it is, Terrence. And I can spell it. But see, I wish more people would just be able to look in the middle and go, he did these great things, he did these terrible things. And you can have your opinions on that, but looking at both instead of going, he did this one thing, no, everything else is gone. I just think people need to look, and again, I think Thomas Jefferson maybe is a weird example, but J.K. Rowling, like, you need to look at these people and go, like, you need to recognize both things. You shouldn't just want to hate someone forever if they said one thing or did one thing you don't agree with, and something wrong with, like I said, with J.K. Rowling,
depending on the action.
Yeah, and I think you need to look at. I think it's important to look at that. What is the action or the thing that was done? It's not as simple as black and white. They did one thing, it's over. Like if J.K. Rowling was like, I hate trans people, I think they're an abomination, they should never exist. Totally understand why you'd hate that. I would hate that too. I probably wouldn't support her. She didn't do that though. There's different levels of these things. It's not one extreme or the other. Look in the middle and find what is done, and then judge that thing. Not, they did one thing and trans people dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? This is kind of a crazy topic. I wasn't sure how to, I think we had a good talk. It's just, I don't know. I think people are just too extreme at everything. So you either go to one end, you go to the other end, as opposed to like, let's just look in the middle and discuss. You know,
Well, we're further from that than we are closer to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good talk. I think
no, it's a good conversation to have. But I mean, I can admittedly say like it. I fear for the next generation.
I think every generation has probably said that though. So
I
they have. I mean,
probably
have.
Right. Our grandparents probably
I
said
agree
that
with
and everything
you.
like that. But
I agree with you. But people always but see. So I agree with you, but then also people always say that. That's what Midnight in Paris is about, is always thinking the last generation was better or whatever it is. And I think, so it's hard. On the one hand, I do agree. Like I look at the next generation, I'm like, fuck. But I think it seems like that's always been the case. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes you sound old when you say something like that, right? But it's
we're no
serious.
Longer young, are we, Terrence?
You know, I'm like, I know you told me, you was like, yo, like I'm off of social media or whatever the case may be. I thought that was actually dope. I'm thinking about doing the same thing. Like literally, funny, I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to do this. But I mean, obviously we have a show to do, right? So like
we'll be on there.
Yeah. You know, right. But like the personal thing and everything like that, I was like, I don't really need this. Like, what is this really doing?
Dude, I literally jumped on Facebook today. I needed to search for someone like specific. And then I was like, oh, let me just scroll for a minute. And within like a minute, I was like, I fucking hate Facebook. It was just like, oh, this person with their negative point about white people or this. But I was like, I just don't. Nope, I'm out. Like that's all it ever is with social media. And I understand there's a lot more to social media, but there's too much negative about anything, right? Whether it's about you, who you are, how these people are bad. Or
everything is living, like you said, like everybody has to be perfect. Everything is living up to someone else's standard now. You can no longer have your own thing, right? Because let's say I decided to wear green socks on one feet and then like flip-flops on the other, and just like I wanted to wear, you know, something crazy, just like something completely crazy, outrageous,
yellow top hat.
But I like it.
God, that'd be cool. You should wear a yellow top hat.
I like it. What do I look like? Fucking Curious George's dad or something?
Did he have a top hat?
Yeah, the man in the yellow hat.
Is that what he was? But he didn't have a top hat. I think it was like a hat. I'm talking like a Monopoly man fucking hat. If you had like a top hat, that'd be dope. You just got a top hat.
I thought he was talking about that, but it more so it comes is this, right? It's like you're not even able to feel comfortable in the things you like. So how are you able to figure out yourself? Because as soon as I post this picture of this thing that I like, there are gonna be so many people that say, "What you got on the stupid? Why are you wearing that? That's ugly. What are you doing? You don't got no money. You're broke." You don't got no money. It's going to be all of that,
sir. What do you mean? Of course I have money. Look at my monocle.
Don't you see my monocle on? Right?
God, if you were the guy with the monocle and top hat, he'd be famous.
But then what does that do for me, right? That makes me more insecure. That makes me more sheltered, as far as like, you know what? I don't want to post anything. Or now when I go outside, I can't even wear what I like. I got to go find what everybody else likes. What is everybody else wearing? What is this? Everything like that. I'm so happy I've never been that person to follow trends.
Who just post? Oh yeah, trends. Me too, man.
I hated trends, and why I hated trends is because I just like, I don't understand why we're doing this, right? True religions. I don't know if this was big in Florida, but in New York, true religions were big, right?
True religions.
True religion jeans were a big thing, right?
Oh, I think I've seen those. I don't know how.
With the horseshoe in the back pocket.
I think I've seen those. Yeah, I'm probably here. I don't know where, but yeah.
True religion were a big thing, right? And to me, it was just like, why are a bunch of guys just paying attention to what other men are wearing? You know, and then obviously this was early 2000s or whatever. So again, this is back when like the word faggot was big and everything like that. And you were gay basically for doing anything you said or
everything was gay. You're gay. Dinner's gay. The movie's gay.
When you were young, you know, back then it was just like everything was.
And that's kind of what we were just talking about. Like I know me and everyone I knew was talking that way, and it was wrong.
And it was wrong. We were absolutely wrong for that.
But we were children of that generation.
Absolutely, that was.
I'm not gonna. But see, that's kind of what I want. I don't want to go back into it, but like a lot of people will like pretend that never happened or pretend they didn't do it. And it's like, no, like I'm not going to pretend and erase part of my history. It's what I did. I was wrong. I've learned from that. And that's how you grow as a person. If you want to erase things and pretend they never happened, then you're going to be stuck where you are.
Yeah. And we did that. But the reason why I brought up the jeans is because, again, everybody's like, oh, you're gay for everything, right? But here's the thing. There are a bunch of guys that are quote unquote straight looking at other guys' asses to see what their jeans look like to say, you know what? Oh, I want to get that one, or I don't have that one, or whatever. Because you got to look at the pocket. You have to look at the pocket to see the design. How else? Right? How else do you know? Or so after a certain point, I'm like, you know what? That's gay. That's gay. Like
that's what you were saying back then.
That's in my head. That's why I'm like, okay, but hold on, no, that's actually gay. It right? Like if you're, I mean, I don't know if you're into that. Obviously, you know, this is when you're young and teenager.
Yeah, you're a kid, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if you're into that or whatever. Even if you are, or you know, if you're in a closet or whatever the case may be back then or whatever, because again, exposing yourself wasn't as normalized as it is now. No, you know, so it probably were a lot of guys that were gay that were just looking at other guy asses, and the way that they kind of got around that was to be like, oh, this is what we got to do, this is what we got to say in order to kind of be accepted or whatever. People are hurting. The people that judge other people are secretly hurting themselves
usually. Yeah, and people like project kind of their own.
And we have to know, and we have to know that, and we have to accept that. And for honestly, I feel sorry for those people. I feel sorry for those people that aren't able to accept themselves, because you have, in order for you to grow, you have to be able to accept yourself. You have to be able to look at your own flaws as well.
That's what I was going to say. You need to accept whatever mistakes, flaws you made, and don't make those mistakes and flaws again, and grow. Understand, like I said, like us dropping all those gay slurs back in the day is because we were ignorant. And then as we got older, you meet people and you start to see the reason why that's so bad. And then you grow. That's important. That can go for anything. Whatever mistakes you're making, don't hide from the mistake. Recognize the mistake and grow from it. Okay, so that's most of the show. I do one last thing before we I want to talk about. Terrence, you and Corey, do you have like the celebrity list of like you can sleep with these 5 celebrities if you were to meet them? A lot of couples have that.
No, we never talked about that.
Yeah, I'm not into that either. But so let's say you were single then, right? Would you sleep with a celebrity strictly because they were a celebrity? Like you saw whoever it is, you don't even necessarily find them that attractive, but you're like, they're a celebrity.
Yes.
You would do it just because they're a celebrity?
Yeah.
I don't know that I would. Like what? Miley Cyrus, like I don't know. Is she attractive? I don't know. I look at her and I'm like, I mean, I don't know. Not really. To me, she's like okay. But yeah, I don't think I don't know. Like it's just a lame thing to do. Like sleep with someone just because they're famous. Like why? Who cares? Because she sang a song or she popped in a movie, that makes me want to sleep with them.
I'm pretty sure they're used to it, right? It's just like
I'm not saying for them. I'm saying for you. Why? I mean, why bother? Like,
yeah, well, it's just a thing to do, right?
Just like, but that's what I'm saying. I just think it's weird. Like I know a lot of people do that, but I think doesn't make any sense. Because this person is known by other people, you would sleep with them rather than if you just saw them at a bar and they weren't famous. It doesn't really make any sense, but yeah. Terrence, you know what needs to go away is neck tattoos. And I especially mean like the face tattoos on your neck. Like John Wall, have you seen this? Where like
no, I didn't see
Wilson Chandler and like a lot of these dudes, they have like it's like a face below their face. Have you not seen this?
No, I didn't see that.
Google right now. Look up John Wall because he has that. Derrick Rose has something on it. I think it looks weird. It draws away from your own face. It makes you look like I don't know. People gotta stop with neck tattoos in general. Neck tattoos are never that great. I love tattoos, but I don't think neck tattoos are good, especially of a face. I think Wilson Chandler has like one of his kids on his neck. So you can't. Again, we talk about this. You can't make fun of that, right? You can't be like, well, it's not a great tattoo.
Damn, he got a whole face under his.
You see John Wall's?
Damn.
Doesn't it just look kind of dumb? Like, why not get that?
Oh, he got a face on the back of his neck too.
He has one on the front and the back.
Oh, his mother. Yeah, his mother's on the.
But see, that's the thing. You can't make fun of that, right? Because it's his mother.
Chin.
Who gives a shit?
His mother. It's his mother.
This is what we talked about. We talked about this a while ago. Like, people have these terrible tattoos wherever they have them, but you're like, oh, it's my kids. It's my mother, and you're like, well, I can't make fun of it because something important.
You can't. His mother is battling cancer.
That's what I'm saying. See, it's totally unfair, but
yeah. Now you sound like a dickhead, Joe.
In general, I think you shouldn't put faces on your neck. I think it's not a good look. This goes for anyone in the world. Are you gonna get a face tattoo on your neck?
and
you gonna get
tat.
Would you get Corey a picture of Corey on your neck?
No.
You know what's funny? She wouldn't let you get that because then she has to look at herself like on your neck.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I think she would veto that.
I like tattoos that mean something. I'm always down for tattoos that mean something, and I'm pretty sure that those tattoos mean something to him.
Anybody.
But
yeah. Do you find tattoos like attractive, like on a woman, or you just don't care?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Absolutely.
I've gotten more into them as I've gotten older. I get more into tattoos like every year for some reason, even though I have 0 of my own.
Yeah.
When I see them on a woman,
I'm trying to convince Corey to get a new one. Just because.
Does she have a lot?
She has a few. Yeah, she has a few.
It's just sexy, man. I mean, what can you say? But all right, Terrence, that wraps up most of our show. There's important things that we have to go over before we leave, Terrence. Number one, follow us on Twitter. Need I Say More Pod? No.
At
Need I Say More Pod. That's how Twitter works, Terrence. You can't just.
Follow us on Twitter.
You can email us at needissaymorepod@gmail.com. Definitely reach out if you want to talk to us, but we have a very special episode coming up, Terrence, that the people might not know about. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in this Saturday, April 3rd. Nope. April 2nd. Nope. April 3rd. I was right the first time. Tune in April 3rd. We have a special, I don't know how we would describe it. It's basically an interview with a lovely young woman.
Conversation, not an interview.
Yeah.
It was more so of a conversation.
It was a conversation with a lovely young woman Terrence knows. And we had just a very extended talk that's going to actually span 2 separate episodes, but it's very good.
It's one of Corey's closest friends, actually.
It is, yes. And this young lady worked in she's a sex worker, is how she described herself. So definitely tune into that. It's like I said, it's going to be
fun episode.
It's very, like both of them were,
yeah.
It's going to be on Saturday. We're still going to get your regular episodes of this show. But that's going to be those are going to be in between. So you're going to get a little bit extra of us if you care. But yeah, Terrence, I'm excited. I think people are going to enjoy those episodes.
It's a good listen. You're going to learn a lot.
Yes. If you're a man, especially get some notes, got to get a notepad out.
Absolutely.
I feel like you're going to learn a lot. I think that's it. The last thing we do as always, Terrence, is a hypothetical question.
What you got this week?
Okay. So let's say.
Actually, I thought it was the listing, but go ahead.
What?
I thought it was the list question that you asked.
The list question?
What you asked.
No. That was just, I was thinking about that because I don't know. That's how my mind works, Terrence. Let's say it was me, you, and 2 close friends of ours. I don't know who, right? We're all hanging out. We're at a gas station, right? We're driving somewhere. We're at a gas station. We're all just talking for 3 minutes. Guy comes in with a gun. He's like, everyone give me your wallet. I'm like, oh shit. Right. So you're trying to take wallets, take the cash register, whatever. Now you're standing there. We all have our hands up. And then I make a move. And then the other 2 guys, we all make a move. We're trying to fight this guy who has the gun. What do you do in that case?
Oh, you join in. It's 4 against 1 at that point. Yeah. It's 4 against 1.
Okay. Because you
gotta join in.
I read a story about this a couple months ago. Actually, I just randomly remembered it. Where I almost feel bad, but there's this video of it, and that happens. Exact thing happens, but the one guy doesn't join in.
He ran,
and he just stands there while this fight's going on, and they eventually get the gun away. He never takes his hands down. He's just like in shock with his hands up, and so he looks like a fucking tool. Like I feel bad. He probably was just like completely caught off guard.
Man, he probably peed on himself.
Listen, people react very crazy in those type of situations, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. If you didn't join in, I'd be like, bro, you didn't have our back, man. We could have died. We could have needed your help.
Join in. Yeah, because like that one extra person could be the advantage that you need.
And also, like, admittedly, like if you're the 4th person, you didn't join, like they made the move first, you are, even if you didn't want to do that, you are kind of somewhat thrown into that against your will. But my opinion is with you. Yeah. Like you can't leave your friends, and yeah, I don't know. You're just going to stand there. Like, come on. I don't know if I would actually make a move though. Like first, I don't really like people.
I could not see you making a move first.
You could see me doing it.
I said I couldn't see you making the first move.
I think I would. I don't think you would. I think you would definitely not go first. You'd be like, well, I got a kid. I got a wife.
I ain't going first. I'll be real about that. I'm not going first. I'm not jumping for the gun first.
I think I would, man. Those people piss me off. People who just like to rob people or just.
This guy's a superhero.
It's not even that, man. Like, I've never been put in that situation, but it kind of is. Listen, if I'm getting robbed, or if the guy's robbing a store I'm in, I don't know with like I can just go, let me just stay out of the way. If I had no opportunity, it's one thing. But if I like kind of saw an opportunity, I could just tackle him, and I don't know, man.
Gonna go for it.
I think I would. Yeah, I'd have to. I might force you into the situation, but
I mean, look, you go first. I'm definitely behind you. You already know that.
See, I appreciate that, Terrence. That's
I'm gonna follow up. Yeah. I'm gonna follow up for sure, but I ain't going for it first though.
That's fine, and I think that's probably more responsible. Like I said, you got a kid, you got a soon-to-be wife. I'm sure at some point, it makes more sense for you. But that's it.
Live pod from the wedding.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
She'll kill me.
As I'm going, you're going down now. I'm like, Terrence, say hi about everybody. Terrence,
she'll kill me.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, he's getting married right now, and I'm getting some stern looks from some people, but it's okay. It's okay. We're still here live. That's it for me, man. You got anything?
No, man. Stay blessed and look forward to that Saturday episode.
Yes, tune in. You do not want to miss these episodes.
Yeah. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Need I say more? Mm-hmm. Height of a heart? Heart of a height?
I don't know what that means. It was like full hearts, full stamina, can't lose. I don't know what it is anyway.
I don't know. Look good, feel good, smell good, do good.